Thanks for joining me for day 4 of my Winnipeg to Whiteshell fat bikepacking tour. I'm about 250 kilometers roughly from home, and the weather has been just perfect, but on the hot side. It's plus 29 degrees today with a very high humidity, and it's making the going pretty slow, and I'm trying to conserve my water. These fellows just finished mowing the lawn for me, and this little gully here was once a bridge and supposedly washed out after a beaver dam exploded up the trail. Thanks guys, I really appreciate it. I've been suffering from some ankle problems, and for this trip I decided to switch to the Shimano A530 pedals, and they've got an SPD clip on one side and a flap on the other, and I tell you, my ankles didn't bother me at all. Some things that I noticed were that I was only clipped in, usually in the climbs or rough sections, and that for the rest of the time I was riding from the arch of my foot. So this could be a bike fit thing, or it just might mean that your position on the pedals could be more dynamic. I almost didn't notice the stowaway on my bag. What a perfect camouflage. It's not a meteorite shower, it's bugs.
Safe to eat here because it's very recognizable. Definitely won't go hungry. Kind of lost the trail there around Jessica Lake. Things are not marked. I'm gonna take the highway and take the scenic route. Bugs are pretty bad anyhow, so. Oh, cool breeze.
A bear had just run across a path here, and I went back to see if I could spot him with my camera. But that's how it goes. Never have the camera ready when you need it. This goose sanctuary was a really neat place to visit. What a picturesque landscape. I explored for a little bit. I entered the parks building here, and the footage was all wasted. It was so cool and air conditioned in there that the lens fogged up immediately. But there's a miniature diorama in there. The park employee who I mentioned had the perfect job ever. Told me, yeah, it's okay. Lucky fella. The Trans-Canada Trail picks up at the Alfred Hole Goose Sanctuary, and it was not really well marked. The fella inside told me to go back to where the employee bunkhouse was, where it says do not enter, and then enter through there, and that I would find the trail and that it would be rough biking, but I should enjoy myself. Always so many blueberries to be had. You can see how easy it is to get lost out here. If you don't know what to look for, like piles of rocks or certain colored flags that are on trees, you're going to live and die by your GPS out here. The good news is the signal was actually pretty good throughout most of the trip.
Thundering, getting pretty bad, so I'm gonna call it early, set up a tent. This stuff's really slippery when it's wet.
Still no place to hammer a tent peg. The sky cleared up and I managed to pack everything up and move on for another hour, made a little bit of headway, but then the rain came again and I decided to park it for the night.
It's the water filter. I had to grab swamp water, so the color is not great, but
This is the water filter that I've used for many years. It's the Katadyn Base Camp. I bought it because of its ease of use. It's a gravity style filter. You fill up this bag with water and then hang it somewhere in a tree or on somewhere higher than the bottle that you're going to filter to. Then you have this element here that comes out and it's got a pre-filter. That's what this mesh is wrapped around here. You can remove that to get to the actual pre-filter. And then that one's been cleaned in the past, but this guy has been through maybe 4 trips and it's pretty plugged up right now. I was barely even getting a liter per hour out of it, so pretty slow. With a fresh filter, it's more like 1 liter every 3 minutes, which is pretty acceptable. The silicone tube has a nice stopper for stopping the flow of water, and I use that actually to clip onto the side of my bottle. Here's how I pack it up, and because there's no moving parts, there's no risk of really breaking this thing, and it still packs down to a really compact size, which is important for bike packing or kayaking. The filters don't last anywhere as long as Katadyn says, and you can't back flush them. So I think I'm going to try one of those Sawyer minis next and see how that works. Might just attach it to the line coming from this bag. Here we are at the eye of the storm. So quiet. So calm, no rain, no bugs, no birds, silence. Not a big day for miles today. After the Alfred Hole Goose Sanctuary, I kind of lost the trail, which is supposed to be the Centennial Trail, It's all backwoods here, lots of climbing, lots of slick rock. It looks like the actual trail, the green line here, ends at 307 and 44, so I just kept going and kind of got myself in a bind, running low on water and time, so tomorrow I have to figure out how to get from here to the highway. Thanks for joining me on day 4 of my Winnipeg to Whiteshell fat bikepacking tour. I hope you'll join me for day 5, the final day. Thanks.